Welcome back, everybody, to the Financial Advisors Workshop. This is the show where we talk to financial advisors all across America and outside of America as well, in some cases, where we talk about how we run our practices, how we do it, how we serve the clients that our industry serves so well. And so now we get a chance to learn from today, Art Meconi. And Art is you're up in New Hampshire, huh?
Correct. Yes. And thanks for Brian for having me today. Really appreciate the opportunity. Art Meconi with Meconi Financial Management and Advisory, a concierge financial planning practice based in Bedford and Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
In New Hampshire. Okay, great. Well, good. Well, thanks for being our guest today. Maybe you could start, Art, and explain. You gave me a little bit of insight into this, how you came into the financial advisor business. You were originally an engineer, and then you had a change of career, right?
That's correct. My training in through high school into college was on engineering paths. I worked in the engineering field for about 6 or 7 years. I really wasn't liking it. I really needed to make a change and look at a different career path. Uh, Fortunately, I got laid off in 2002,
Ah,
and that gave me the impetus to look at another other career options. Financial services had always been in the back of my mind. It was something I was very much interested in, and had worked with a couple of advisors early in my working career. Um, and At the time, American Express Financial Advisors, now Ameriprise, was looking for new candidates. So I was good in math, so I could pass all the tests. Whether I could get clients, that was another story, and
another story. Yeah.
I'll sure we'll get to that.
All right. Well, good. So then you start out. Did you start out with another group, or did you start out as a financial advisor just on your own?
So I started under the on the American Express model at the time. It was a employee relationship for a branch office, and so that's how you started. And You had to get 5 clients in the first 6 weeks, and it was really close, but I made it. And Because there was no wiggle room back then. You had to have it. You had to have those fifth client by the time frame, or you were out. Most of the
Wow.
people that started with me didn't make it. Um, and I really enjoyed it. I found it to be very, very rewarding. And we were cold calling and doing marketing events and all types of things to just get introductions to the clients. And that's how we got started. Um, you and Then over time, as you get clients and start to learn the business and learn how to implement the advice, and had a lot of good mentors around me, at the time, more experienced advisors that were there helping me and coaching me, and really helped me get off the ground there in the first year.
Nice. Good. So, all right. So you got your 5 clients in 6 weeks, and then how does the progression go from there?
So after that, then there's metrics that you have to hit, in terms of client growth, assets under management, financial planning count, um, and just hit the phones. Cold calling was something I just found I was good at. Had my script and knew what I was talking about, and could make relationships over the phone and build value for people. And if it built enough value, you did schedule a meeting, and just worked as hard as it could to um, just grind it out. And At the end of the first year, I was a first year top achiever, and was off and running from there. It was a long road, a lot of phone calls, a lot of long days, weekends, marketing events, things like that. We did it all. One of our more intriguing marketing events was making balloon animals at the mall for kids. And
Nice.
while we were making the balloon animals, we could talk to the parents. So, because when you just have a table event at the mall, nobody wants to talk to you. But if you're making balloon animals for the kids, you get a minute to talk to the parents, and that was a very successful strategy.
Yes.
And many of our clients today, the kids now that I made the balloon animals for, they're clients.
Yeah. Well, that works. Yeah. Whenever it is, it's about people and getting to know people, right? It's great.
Correct. Correct. And that was the transition, started from being an engineer, working in that world, very regimented, segmented world, to then expanding my personality. And that was really what was going to be the question for long-term success. Could I change my overall approach and build those relationships with people, build them outside of the usual technical sense that I had done for most of my
Right.
life? And that was that was the challenge for the long
Right.
growth. But yeah, I did it, and here we are. So
So how many families buying units, if you will, households do you have?
with about 133 under assets under management, about 600 client groups,
Okay.
uh, and so we've over the years, the early years were a lot of marketing, cold calls. When I transitioned to the independent world, the franchise world of Ameriprise in 2006, we started practice acquisitions, meaning clients, the advisors that were downsizing, advisors that were selling, um, retiring. We shifted our marketing strategy to meet other advisors to create those opportunities for acquisition. So we still were doing the cold calling, we're still doing the luncheon seminars, all kinds of things. But we really got going with the acquisitions. That's what's driven us, now 22 years later to the levels that we're at.
Right. Nice. Nice. Well, good. So you have 600 households. And how do you handle them? What is your service model? Is it reviews and then communications, phone calls? How do you keep in touch with people?
Sure. So we have a client segmentation model. My wife is the chief operating officer and the practice manager. So she identifies the clients in conjunction with me in terms of the service model that they're going to have. Some are financial planning clients, some are asset clients. It really doesn't matter. More tailored to the situation. Most clients over 100,000 get 4 contacts per year,
Okay.
whether that in-person meetings, phone calls, Teams meetings. Um, we try to segment that out, and then also I'm the lead advisor, and we have an associate advisor who helps with the client contact as well. It's very much a team approach here.
That's great. Good. So what changes has your business, seen since you first started? Like, were you doing certain products to open your first six accounts? And has that changed much over the years? And your emphasis, has that changed?
Sure. I mean, the product selection 22 years ago is not the same as it is,
Mhm.
as it is now. So we had a more limited pool of resources to draw from at the time. I always took the approach from day one of the long term view in terms of sort of the assets under management model, and building those relationships and being able to build diversified portfolios as best as possible. Sure, there was, depending on the client size, maybe one mutual fund company fit the bill back then, but the larger clients, we were started developing sort of the model that we still have to today from the assets under management model. So I was very, very focused on that, to build that long-term, solution. One of the things that allowed me to do that, because being 28, 29 years old and changing
Right.
careers, in order to build that, you needed to have another income to kind of help along the way. So my wife and I were real estate investors, and we had real estate investment properties that were covering our expenses and our mortgage while I was building the business. Because if we didn't have that, I don't think I would have even tried because it was just not. It was going to be the, going from 100,000 a year engineering job down to 15,000 a year first year advisor. I don't think that was going to make it. So we had
Right.
to we had to have another plan, and another income stream to kind of get that going that enabled us to sort of take that long term view at the time.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good. So now, what do you think about what's going on in the industry? Are you watching trends, and how do you see that changing anything that you might do?
I just try to focus on myself. The client experience is number one to us here. The assets under management, we rely a lot on other teams from either Ameriprise or other firms to help us run the portfolios, and we focus on enhancing the client experience, that concierge model that I talked about, in building that. So I don't pay too much attention to sort of where the industry is going because I get that sense from my clients. They tell me what they're looking for, that they're telling me what's important. We check in with them a lot. We have surveys and things that we ask them to fill out. So we kind of keep our sense there from that perspective, and that's really served us well over time.
Nice. Good. All right. So, what kinds of products do you work with now?
So we primarily use kind of active portfolios, diversified portfolios, um, and we use outside managers from various different companies to assist us within our platform that we have here, at Ameriprise, and we rely a lot on the wealth management team at Ameriprise, and the regional people that are assigned to our area that can help us with the new portfolios that are available. We'll talk to the fund managers, um, and so that we can focus on the client and what their risk tolerance is, what their time frame is, what their plans are. We're a small team, so we don't have the resources or time to individually pick the portfolios for our clients. We're relying on the asset managers, and then we're focusing on the risk tolerance and the time frame.
Okay, great. Do you use alternatives and other esoteric type managers as well, or just mostly stocks and bonds?
Mostly stocks and bonds.
Mhm.
Some of our kind of risk adjusted portfolios will have those alternatives in there, based on the risk tolerance. We primarily, again, use that model. Um, we don't do a lot of the private placement or things like that. We try to focus on the overall portfolio management from the
Mhm.
from the partners that we're working with.
Okay, great, excellent. So, what do you guys have done really well? You've got over 100 million under management, and you have a great practice. What do you attribute your success to? Did these clients just kind of show up, or did you do something unique to get them? And how'd you make this success, Art?
It's great. It's a great question, Brian. I ponder it a lot.
Hmm.
um, I think a lot of the success is building relationships. I always try to do that first before we talk about the services, before we talk about planning, before get to know people, especially with practice acquisitions, where you don't know what you're going to get. You're getting someone else's clients. You have to be very flexible. Your personality has to be very wide to work with with the individual clients. And so you take that approach, you build that relationship, you get to understand what's important to them, you get to understand what's important to both, the husband and wife, or the domestic partners, however you're working with. Make sure everybody's being heard, make sure everybody, no one's not being served. um, and then the bottom line, just make sure you care and
Good.
show that you care. Remember their birthdays, anniversaries,
Yeah.
special events. um, my wife sends birthday cards out. We handwrite the birthday cards to her clients. We
Yeah,
do
that's nice.
we do retirement parties. Um,
Yeah,
Things
that's
like
great.
that really make a difference. We enjoy doing it. And it really just, I think, really comes through.
Mhm.
And
That's great.
helps keep, keep clients on track. I mean, especially when
Sure.
you go through hard times, difficult times. They want to know that you're there. They want to know that they have access to you. Sometimes it's like just a 15-minute phone call of just like,
Yeah,
hey, this is going wrong. Art, what do you think? We need some help. We're always available for that.
good. Excellent. Well, it's not, like some whiz bang strategy. It's just a well honed strategy that's relationship building and trust building, and it sounds really great. Sounds
Oh,
really
thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. I mean, one of the reasons I always have a bridge in the background when I have these type of calls and things like that is we're always building bridges to people, whether it's to new clients. We call them future clients. We don't call them prospects. We do a lot of multi-generational planning, getting to know the adult children of clients. And we have a rule of thumb here. We don't want to meet a beneficiary after a client passed away. We want to make sure we meet a beneficiary beforehand. Uh,
beforehand, right?
yeah, and sometimes they have relationships with other advisors and things like that, but we want to get to know them. We want to understand what the situation. We don't want that first meeting to be after a client passed away. Are we perfect on that? No, but that's we really strive, to do that. Family dinners, lunches, yeah, we really go out of our way to
Nice,
make sure we're building relationships.
nice. Hey, can you think of a defining moment that helped shape your career? I mean, when you got into it, it was new. Is there something that happened that made you say, "Okay, this is it"? A defining moment for your career?
It's a great question, Brian. I don't think there was maybe a defining moment. I will say that the transition when we went from the employee platform back in 2006 to the independent model, that was a big moment for us in order to kind of, break out and run our own business. And um, the I think if I go back a little earlier than that, when when American Express became Ameriprise, initially a lot of the franchise advisors at the time didn't think it was a good idea,
Mhm.
and they left Ameriprise. They went to LPL, they went to RBC, things like that. And I was a young advisor, year two in the business. It didn't matter what the name on the door was. I was trying to trying to build the business. But I came in the morning after the announcement, and a lot of the franchise advisors in the area had left. So their clients were reassigned. And because I was one of the top producers in the office, I got about 40 new clients. Now, I wasn't going to keep all of them. I knew that because some of them were going to follow the advisors to their new place. But the field VP said to me, I gave you those clients because I know you're going to call everybody before 9 a.m. this morning. So, and and I did. And I realized in that time that, okay, assigned clients or, yeah, very early stage acquisition of clients, I found that I was okay at it. I was pretty good. So
Great.
that really set the stage for the transition to the franchise model. And then we did some acquisitions early into the franchise model that set the tone for the rest of the time. So I think that's the best way I can answer, Brian, is that sort of that moment there in, forget when, 2005, something like that. When those 40 client files were on my desk, and we didn't have, all the electronic stuff. It was actually 40 clients files on my
Right.
desk.
Right.
And I kept it coming. So some of those people are still clients today. And that was just building a relationship and,
Mhm.
building a relationship with someone else's client in a quick period of time, retaining the client, and then, building long-term value, for that client. That was really when I started to say, you know what? Cold calling's great, and we do all the referral, marketing, things like that. But we can also look at acquiring clients because this is something they have an established relationship, and as long as you show additional value, they'll stick with you.
Right. Excellent. Well, good. Well, this has been a great discussion. We're coming kind of to the end of our discussion here. Is there any message you'd like to send to all the financial advisors that are out there? Imagine you're in like an auditorium and there's 300 financial advisors out there. And that's kind of like how many that are going to hear it, maybe 1,000 over a period of a year or so. They're all going to hear this. What would you like to tell them?
Yeah, it's a very honored to have that question, Brian. I appreciate that. Um, I would say the key to success in financial services is building a relationship, showing that you care, going out of your way to make it more than a business relationship.
Mhm.
We're friends with a lot of our clients. We're friends with a lot of the other professionals that we work with. Um, we have a rule with our other professionals, and even sometimes when we're meeting new people, we don't even talk business. We just get to know each other, understand the situation. The more information you get from a client, the more comfortable that they are talking to you, the better you're going to be as an advisor.
So develop your skills and you can make a success in this business.
Correct. It's all about it's just relationship. I mean, that's for me and what we do here. My wife and I, we're a great team. I think that helps a lot too. With the client acquisition and also the relationship. Um, we love taking people out to dinner, entertaining.
Right.
We just hosted a chamber event in Portsmouth, and we had 125 of our closest friends with us.
Right.
um, we maxed out the event space.
Right.
So we really do a lot of community efforts as well, whether through the Chamber of Commerce's in the two towns that we primarily work in. We also do a lot of charitable work as well. Um, the one charity called us up, not a client, just out of the blue right before Christmas, and they had a relationship with another firm and they were terminated because their account value wasn't um, of the minimum anymore, and
Oh, okay.
they had a donor that was donating stock, and they didn't have a account to put it in. So we got a call and they said, can you help us? We're kind of in a jam, and those
Right.
kind of things, we love those kind of calls. I mean,
Yeah.
that's when you're doing the right stuff. It wasn't anything that was going to make us any money, but it made a world of difference for the charity. And
Mhm.
that's the kind of stuff that just kind of falls out sometimes, and
Mhm.
it really can, give you and give the people around you, additional um, kind of goodwill, and
Good.
and
Well,
and
great.
and that's really important to us as well. So I think that's, looking back in the career change that I made, I don't regret it for a second. I mean, this has been a tremendous business to be a part of. It's hard. It's hard to get it off the ground. You got to grind it out, and we're still grinding. I mean, we're never satisfied. We want to keep growing. We want to keep getting better. And
That's
we don't
great.
rest on our laurels here.
That's awesome. Well, great. Well, thank you, Art, for being with us today. The great interview. We learned a lot, and I wish you all the best in your career. And I'm sure we'll meet again here soon. So thanks everybody for being with us today, and thank you, Art.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate the opportunity, and look forward to meeting you.
The same here. And bye, everybody. Thanks for being with us on Financial Advisor Workshop. We'll be back again with another interview with another really great advisor like Art. Okay, well, over and out. We'll leave it right there. Bye bye, everybody.